Welcome back to Alpine Expat. When people think about Switzerland, they usually picture snow-capped mountains, efficient trains, chocolate, watches, and a remarkably high quality of life. But behind all of those things lies something even more remarkable, a political system that gives ordinary citizens an extraordinary amount of power. In most democracies, people elect politicians who then make decisions on their behalf until the next election. Switzerland works differently. Swiss citizens not only elect representatives, but they also have the ability to challenge laws, propose constitutional changes, and vote directly on important national issues several times every year. This system is known as direct democracy, and it is one of the defining features of Swiss society. For newcomers, expats, and people considering a move to Switzerland, understanding direct democracy is essential because it influences everything from taxes and transportation to healthcare, immigration policies, and environmental regulations. In this video, we'll explore how Swiss direct democracy works, why it developed, how citizens participate, and what makes it one of the most unique political systems in the world. To understand direct democracy, we first need to understand Switzerland itself. Switzerland is a federal country made up of 26 cantons, each with significant autonomy. The Swiss political system is built on 3 levels of government: the federal level, the cantonal level, and the municipal level. Unlike many countries where political power is concentrated in a national government, Switzerland distributes authority across all 3 levels. Local communities often make decisions that would be handled nationally elsewhere. This decentralized structure creates a political culture where citizen participation is expected rather than exceptional. The Swiss constitution establishes that ultimate political authority rests with the people. This principle isn't merely symbolic. Citizens regularly exercise that authority through formal voting mechanisms. As a result, politics in Switzerland is not something that happens only during election years. It is an ongoing process that actively involves the population. Swiss direct democracy revolves around 3 primary tools. The first is representative democracy. Citizens elect members of parliament and cantonal governments just as they do in most democratic countries. The second is the optional referendum. When Parliament passes a new law, citizens can challenge it. If enough signatures are collected within a specified period, the law is put to a nationwide vote. The public then decides whether the law should take effect. This creates a powerful check on government decisions. Politicians know that unpopular legislation can be overturned directly by voters. The third tool is the popular initiative. This allows citizens to propose changes to the Swiss constitution. If supporters collect enough valid signatures, the proposal must be submitted to a national vote. In other words, Swiss citizens don't simply react to government decisions. They can actively place issues on the national political agenda. Together, these mechanisms create a balance between elected representatives and direct citizen participation. Let's take a closer look at referendums because they are central to Swiss democracy. There are 2 main types. The first is the mandatory referendum. Certain decisions, particularly constitutional amendments and major international agreements, automatically require a public vote. Even if Parliament strongly supports a proposal, citizens still have the final say. The second is the optional referendum. If citizens disagree with a law passed by Parliament, they can organize a signature campaign. Once the required number of signatures is gathered within the legal deadline, a nationwide vote must take place. This process encourages consensus in Swiss politics. Because lawmakers know that voters can challenge their decisions, political parties often work together to find broadly acceptable solutions before legislation is passed. As a result, Swiss politics tends to be less confrontational and more focused on compromise than in many other countries. The popular initiative is perhaps the most fascinating aspect of Swiss democracy. Imagine believing strongly that a national policy should change. In many countries, your options might be limited to lobbying politicians or supporting a political party. In Switzerland, citizens can go further. By collecting the required number of signatures, they can propose an amendment to the Constitution and force a national discussion on the issue. Not every initiative succeeds. In fact, many are ultimately rejected by voters. However, even unsuccessful initiatives often influence public debate and encourage Parliament to address concerns that might otherwise be ignored. Over the years, initiatives have covered a wide range of topics, including environmental protection, social issues, transportation, immigration, and economic policy. This process ensures that ordinary citizens can shape the country's political direction directly. One aspect that surprises many foreigners is how frequently Swiss citizens vote. National voting days typically occur several times per year. During each voting round, citizens may decide on multiple issues simultaneously. Before every vote, households receive detailed information explaining the proposals, arguments supporting them, and arguments opposing them. This information helps voters make informed decisions. Switzerland also makes participation convenient. Many citizens vote by mail, and some cantons offer electronic voting options on a limited basis. Traditional in-person voting remains available as well. Because voting is frequent, Swiss citizens become accustomed to evaluating complex policy questions. Political participation becomes part of everyday civic life rather than an occasional event. Many people wonder whether direct democracy could function elsewhere. Switzerland's success is linked to several factors. First, there is a strong culture of civic responsibility. Citizens generally expect to stay informed and participate in public affairs. Second, political power is decentralized. Local governments retain significant authority, which helps citizens feel connected to decision-making processes. Third, compromise is deeply embedded in Swiss political culture. Since proposals often require broad public support, political actors are incentivized to seek common ground. Finally, Swiss direct democracy developed gradually over many generations. It evolved alongside institutions, traditions, and legal frameworks that support citizen participation. The system isn't perfect, and debates continue about its strengths and weaknesses. However, it has contributed significantly to Switzerland's political stability and public trust. Like any political system, direct democracy faces challenges. Critics sometimes argue that complex issues can be difficult to reduce to a simple yes or no vote. Others worry that emotional campaigns may influence public opinion on highly sensitive topics. There are also concerns about voter fatigue. When citizens vote multiple times every year, some people may choose not to participate consistently. However, supporters argue that the benefits outweigh these challenges. They believe direct democracy increases government accountability, strengthens public engagement, and ensures that major decisions reflect the will of the population. The ongoing debate itself is part of what makes Swiss democracy dynamic and resilient. Switzerland's direct democracy is more than a political mechanism. It is a partnership between citizens and government. Rather than delegating all decision-making authority to elected officials, Swiss voters remain actively involved throughout the political process. Through referendums, initiatives, and regular voting, citizens help shape the laws and constitutional principles that govern their country. For expats and future residents, understanding this system offers valuable insight into Swiss society. It helps explain why political decisions often emerge through consensus, why local communities play such an important role, and why citizen participation remains at the heart of public life. Switzerland may be famous for its mountains, banking sector, and exceptional infrastructure, but one of its greatest achievements is a democracy that places remarkable trust in its citizens. And perhaps that's the real secret behind Switzerland's success. Thank you for watching Alpine Expat. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with anyone interested in living in Switzerland. We'll see you in the next one.